All right, good afternoon. Just a quick update. Want to look at the NASDAQ today. We talked a little bit last week how on Tuesday it looked like Apple did a major reversal that day when it hit the new high of 644 and then had some big 15-minute bars that sold off under some key moving averages throughout that day. We suggested that the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, all that day showed that you wanted to be a seller now of Apple. Apple then kind of hung around that 635 area Wednesday and then started to sell off late in the end of the week as the rest of the market again faded. This morning Apple opened 610 and there was a big chunk of sellers. Matter of fact, I think the second 15-minute block I show somewhere around almost 6.5 million shares were dumped, and in the first 15 minutes 2 million shares were dumped. So that half an hour open in Apple took us from 610 and change all the way down to 583, and then we bounced up to 595, and then we continued to sell off. What's interesting here on the profile, you can see we opened at 2708 and futures just got crushed on the NASDAQ, and this was really the case everywhere. However, the ES didn't make a new low, but once we broke through this 2690 level here, that was support from Friday's near lows, and then also 2682 from last week, we really just blew out a lot of stops, and that really only took about 38 minutes or so for us to see the low of the day, which was 2655 and change. And you can see here on the profile, really there wasn't a lot of volume from 2710 all the way down to that 27 let's call it 83 level. You can see it here on the volume on the right side. There wasn't a heck of a lot going on. So if you were getting long in here waiting for the Monday bounce, however things have changed, you really got smashed in the face hard. But there was no reason to be buying. I always kind of wait for at least 25-30 minutes on the opening half hour to see what happened. And this half hour range today was 27.10.50 all the way down to 26.64.50. So you're talking almost 47 points, almost 2% move. That's a monster move. We proceeded to go a little bit lower as we broke to the new lows there all the way down to 26.56. But the rest of the day we were pretty containerized between 26.78 to let's call it 26.60, and you can see the value area right here was basically 26.61 to 77. Tried to break out one time late in the day. It looked like it might try to run, but they again fell very quickly. There wasn't a lot of real buyers back into that market. So it's a tough market to trade if you weren't short early, and after that we really traded very tight. So don't overthink these markets. When you're into a market like this and it moves like today, if you're not short, you're probably going to miss the downside move if you didn't get short in the first 5-10 minutes, let's say. But I will say one thing, the delay was evident, however, in the SPoos, and if you were able to take a look at the SPoos, those actually you were able, based on what you saw in Apple, move your concentration over to the SPoos, and the S&P was hanging around 1372 before it really fell, and it fell about 12 points. So even if you missed the move on NASDAQ because of Apple, you could have looked at the SPoos and said, hey, there's something being delayed here. I'm going to jump in on the short side, and probably garnered anywhere from 5 to 12 points on the SPoos. So when you're looking at markets, make sure you take a look at all markets when they tend to move as one. And there was a delay today, as I said. And matter of fact, oil reversed, all assets reversed after the Apple move. So Apple kind of led us, but the NASDAQ futures were there first, then the S&P, and then you could have jumped on the oil futures also at about 103.25. They failed to, after making a new high this morning, they failed and reversed about $1 from 103.40 all the way down to about 101.70, so about $1.70. So there was a big chunk. Again, we're just looking to take bites out of this market, and some good opportunities today. They were quick, they were swift, they were early in the morning. After that, we just kind of played some real tight ping pong. So that's that. We'll be back later. Hope you're having a great trading week. It is Monday, April 16th.